Hello everybody. Well, in this video I'm going to present you what will be my solution for the question 4. The question one of the two questions that I sent to you last week. Well, my idea is just take the opportunity of this video to also review or check some of the learnings that we had last class regarding classes and objects. Now that we have studied classes and objects, well, we have a good opportunity also to check how it is used in this solution. Well, as I said many times, you know that the programming is just about solving problems. And then before I start coding, we should dedicate some time to thinking on how to solve the question, the problem. Then you can see here that basically what I'm asking you is just a program that allow a user or ask the user to introduce 3 lines of a bill. Each line should have a name of a product, then the unit that are bought by the user, and then the price by unit. Okay, and with all that information introduced by the user, we should be able to print on the screen this table, more or less this table. Okay, so you can see that basically we are going to need 9 variables. Let's say product 1, unit 1, and price 1. This will be related to line 1 that had to be introduced by the user. Then we will need another group of variable for line 2 and another group of variable for line 3. Okay? Doing that way is very simple to program, but it could not be effective, so to say. We have here 9 variables, and this program, it will be not scalable. It will be very difficult to scalate that program in case that the user, for example, say that he wants to add 2 additional lines, 4 and 5. It will be really a mess, continue creating variables, and it will be very difficult to manage. And we will have to type a lot. So that could be a solution. But better than that could be, of course, use here an array. In that case, will be string for product, yeah. Then here will be an int for units, and here will be a double array for price. Okay. What we are going to do is that we will firstly do it using the let's say the back approach, all the variable. Then later we will change to array, and then later also we will start with some method to make the code even easier to read, easier to understand. Okay. Well, then let's move to the Java Online compiler that I have here. First thing that I do is just empty the main method. So, okay. Well, as we have to introduce the data, or the user has to introduce the data, you know that we have to use the scanner function. Okay. Then, now that we have studied the classes and the objects, I will take the opportunity to to talk a little about this scanner function. You can see that the class is a scanner. It's indicated here. The type is the name of the class. You know now that that class should be in a dedicated Java file. Okay. And then the reader1 is an object of this class. Okay. You remember that for creating an object of one class, we need the new keyword. Okay, and then this method is what we call a constructor. If you remember, the constructor was the method in the class that has the same name than the class. And now maybe you understand better why we have to use the import statement. Okay, for being able to use the scanner class. What we are doing, what we are saying here is that the Java, the scanner Java file, so the Java file that have the explanation of the class, of the parameter, and all the method, it is in this library, Java util. Okay? Well, say that. Let's back to the solution of the question. Well, we need 3 objects of the scanner class. Okay. Well, and then we will need also the variables that it could be for product. I will use product, that is string type product 1. In that case, could be, I will use the reader1 object, and then you know that the method for reading a string was next line. Okay. Then the second variable that I have to create is integer type, and it will be the number of units. So I will use units in plural, for example, and I will use the second object. At that time, as what I'm expecting to read is an integer, I have to use next in. Then finally, we have double what we call price, and I will use the reader3, and that will be next double. That part we know how to do it. We have done now several times. Okay, again, it's not complicated. But let me also add some tests so user can understand what is the data that he has to introduce. And then I will put here introduce the product. Okay. Then here would be introduce the number of units, and here would be introduce the price. I will not now put this all line. Okay. Well, And I'm going to add also an additional comment so we can understand this. Probably this will be the, say, the first line. Okay, this is a comment. You know how to do it. Is do nothing. It's just an indication of what is the code that is coming below. Well, let's try now if we have done properly. We are making a mistake. It seems that everything is okay. So let's try Apple. Let's see, number of unit, let's say 4, price 2.1. Okay, I think that that part works properly. Well, then if we just do this in the, let's say, very inefficient way, but still it works, we can take all this block then copy here, but that time that will be the second line. Then that variable will be product2. That variable, sorry, because here I have to put unit, unit 1, and here unit 2. I forget to put 1 for unit and price in the first line, but we have to put it in order to, okay, then create these 3 variables for the second line. And if we copy and paste and do that for the, now the third line, okay, we have to change this to 3, and then to 3. Let's see if it's work, or maybe I have done something wrong. It seems that everything is okay, but let's try Apple 3 and this 7.2, then lemon 3, the price will be 2.1, and last one, let's say orange, number of units 77, and then the price 1.8. Then it thinks that everything works properly. So we have done the first part just using 9 variables instead of 3 arrays, okay? But by the time being, let's continue with this way of doing. Later we will move this to an array, okay? Then next things that we have to do is just print this table, okay, that is product unit, price unit. I'm going to copy this because that is literal, yeah. And then I will start here with the, let's say, the printing function, okay. Then system out, print ln, okay. We have a kind of separator, something like that. This is text, just to create separation. And this is the text. Okay. Okay, then I will, let's say, put this at the same length. Okay. And here basically the same. So the only thing that I have done here is just that, let's say, this title, this line, this text, and this line. And this is just typing, it's hard coding, it's not, we do not use any variable here, okay? Now we are going to create each line, so to say. And then, again, not using a very effective way of doing, we can say something like system out println, and then I have to put here in that case will be product1 plus, and put some separators there. Then later came unit, is unit or unit 1, yeah. And then some separator there, and then it comes price 1 plus all the separators, and here I have to calculate the total. That of course will be unit 1 multiplied by price 1. Okay, so I guess that you understand what I have done here, just using the variable of the first line, introduce it here. Okay, product 1, unit 1, and price 1. I just print those values introduced by the user for the line 1, then some text or characters for just separate the values, and then the total will be the number of units multiplied by the price. Okay, and then we can do the same for the lines. So I have to put here the line to line 2, and then here the line 3. But okay, this is, even though it's work, this is not a good way for working. I will say software, but anyhow, it would be right, so to say. Then we still have to print this line and then the total. Okay, let's finalize then this line. I will just copy, Control C, and then the total. I put the text, also I put total. Okay, so it will be system out print and I put total space plus total, that in that case is unit price. I will put several times, and then is plus, but this is unit 2 price 2 unit 3 price 3. And we are going to use, yes, maybe for clarifying, I'm going to put a parenthesis here just to indicate this is the total. Okay, well, that will be all for the time being. Then if we execute, let's say we have not made any mistakes, or okay, since everything is okay, say first color is lemon, take 2 units and price of 3.1, second one could be orange, then price 4.6, and last one apple 4 units 7.7. Okay, since let's see, and here you have the the data printed. So far that would be a solution, but really a very bad one. So we are going to see how to improve this in next videos. Okay, but I will stop this video now because we are around 20 minutes, and then it could be very heavy video. Okay.